YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Alright guys, so first and foremost, I will be speaking through the mic like very close because there's some background noise as you might see here, the TV here, my kids watching TV. Anywho, I do want to apologize for not uploading content for the past week or so. The week has been so busy with work and all and personal stuff. I just got swamped. But anyways, hopefully we're back and we're gonna create some contents here. So like a few days ago or like 2 days ago, we got a new pack. I dove into the new pack. So the pack was, I don't really want to recommend it, like pulling some stuff from it. And I think majority of you already know this. It's a really crappy pack. I think the only notable one here is practically Toy Box, which we can use once the White Forest comes Master Duel. For now, I think you can tech this one out with some other decks. But if you don't have a copy, I would not advise crafting this. But yeah, White Forest usually or tend to use this on 3 copies alongside with the toy tank. So yeah, enough about that. What we're gonna talk about today is the Dragon Master Magia. Now people are getting hyped with Dragon Master Magia, and I do understand why, because it's easy enough to summon this to the field by cheating it with the Dogmatica engine and some other cards. And Decade has also one deck profile that uses Sprites to its full potential, and that was kind of good of them to actually make that deck. Yeah, Dragon Master Magia has been non-stop in my feed for YouTube, and yeah, people have been using this in a couple of decks. Consistent or not, they have been using this in most of their decks. So we're gonna talk about the decks that can actually use this. So if you want a deck list, it's always in the comment section below. We will talk about some of the decks that's really common and uncommon for Dragon Master Magia. So I think that's basically it. In hindsight, my own opinion with Dragon Master Magia, it's in the level of between good and bad. It's not half bad for a monster, having 3 form negates for spell traps and monster, but it can easily be removed on the field. So setup was kind of long, and then your opponent can just remove it with just 1 or 2 cards. So yeah, practically in the middle of good and bad. But enough about this. Let's go to our first deck. Okay, so for our first deck, we got this from Decade's deck profile from Master Duel Meta. And yeah, I do understand the consistency of this was kind of good. I mean, summoning a copy of Sprite Elf and then summoning this from the graveyard after you dump it with a copy of Sprint is kind of good. I do think that's one way to actually like cheat the extra deck monsters to the graveyard. And even so, sending a copy of Herald of the Arclight and a copy of Ultimate Dragon to the grave by the use of Dogra, you can just get a copy of Chaos, and then 1 copy of Souls is quite enough. The rest is just basically Sprites with just a splash of Yubel. If ever this fails, you can just play off your Sprite combo with the help of Yubel, and then you're actually sorted out. This is one of the best competitive decks that you can actually make the Dragon Master Magia with. And honestly, my version before this was kind of bad. I did not have a copy of Necrofusion, and I did not even add a copy of Spirit of Yubel. Plus, Dark Beckoning Beast wasn't in my option to add for my Sprite build. Yeah, but DK got this one pretty accurate. So yeah, this is one of the best things. As long as this is not negated, then you can just send the materials to the graveyard and then summon a copy of Magia to the field with the help of the Ultimate Fusion on the next turn. Because there's no way that you can summon the Magia to the field after you use Gigantic Sprite or the starter. Or if you got a copy of this on the first turn and then you are uninterrupted. So that's one way that you can summon Magia to the field. I think that's basically it. If you need a deck list, I think people already know that you can get a copy of this from MasterDuelMeta.com on Decade's deck list for Sprite. So that is Dragon Master Magia for Sprites. Let's move on with another deck. Okay, so for our next deck, we have here Dogmatica. Now the thing about this is, where was it? Oh yeah, Nadir Servant is practically your combo piece that you can use in your first turn. Nadir, send a copy of Garura to the graveyard, get a copy of Dogmatica Ecclesia. Normal summon Ecclesia, get a copy of Maximus here. Maximus will banish a copy of Garura, and then special summon the Maximus to the field, sending a copy of the Ultimate Dragon, and then a copy of the Herald of the Arclight. Get a copy of the Illusion of Chaos from the Herald, and then you can dump the copy of Chaos to the graveyard. On the second turn, you can summon a copy of where was it? We didn't have Predaplant Verted Anaconda here. I forgot about this, so I'm gonna remove Link Gribo. Or not, if you have a copy of Bingo Machine Go, on 3 copies. I do advise getting 3 copies of this in the deck and then get a copy of Ultimate Fusion to your hand. But I think on 3 copies, it's not half bad on a 41 card deck. So there might be a copy of this on your starting hand alongside Nadir Servant, which is practically the combo that you'll basically need for summoning Magia to your field during his turn. Trade-in is basically usable here because you have a ton of level 8s, and practically this version with Blue Eyes plus Dogmatica is way bricky. That's why you see some level 8s here needs to be sent to the graveyard with the help of trade-in. Now if you have another copy of trade-in, much better, but most of the cards here, it's either get a copy of those Blue Eyes or send the Blue Eyes to the graveyard, like for example Dictator of D. That is Dogmatica, one of the ways to summon or to get a hold of Magia to the field, but a lesser version of consistency from the Sprite. That is Dogmatica. Let's move on with another deck. Okay, so here we are with our third deck. Now, I did got this information from one of my subscribers or the people that commented on another video. So people are using Horus summoning Magia to the field, which is kind of wild, but I do understand how plausible can this combo be. Nadir is practically a good 1-card starter to put your materials to the graveyard. The Horus, if ever you got a copy of this, and none of the combo piece to send the materials to the graveyard, you can still bring them out with a copy of the Horus monsters, which is not half bad, I would say. Or even a copy of the Zombie Vampire, get a copy of Ecclesia, or get a copy of Maximus, and then dump the cards that you practically need. Not half bad, I would say. It's a bit like uncommon, but I think it's way consistent than the Blue Eyes Dogmatica one, which is, it's less bricky, I would say. That's practically how I can value this deck. It's less bricky than the Blue Eyes Dogmatica one that we got earlier. So this is one of the versions that can get Magia to the field as well, but not really the most consistent one. So anyways, that's Horus. Let's move on with another deck. And then before we move on with another deck, reminder, deck lists will be in the comment section below. Okay, so for our next deck, I know this is kind of wild. I know, we're using trap decks with Dogmatica. So I've tested this deck out personally, and it was less consistent than usual in summoning Magia to the field, but all I can say is you can still play Labyrinth here, and then on the next turn, you can just summon Magia to the field just to finish off your opponent. Easy as that. Or you got a copy of Nadir Servant, you can just play off Nadir Servant, get a copy of your Ecclesia, and you still have your combo piece with your Labyrinth cards, which is not half bad. Well, downside for this is you're playing with 42 cards without any Ash Blossoms or Call by the Grave, so that's one minor downside for this deck, I would say. But if you want to play this with meta decks, this is one of the things that you need to sacrifice for Magia. But anyways, yeah, understandably, I know people are gonna comment on this. Oh, why are you playing this with Labyrinth? It's a really big no-no for some people. But yeah, that's Labyrinth. Let's move on with another deck, and I think this is quite questionable, but it is unorthodox. So here we are, our next deck. So like I said, it is kind of unorthodox, but it works. I've seen this build in YouTube, and I think only 1 or 2 people are using this type of build to summon Magia. Now the thing about this is you summon or get a copy of Blackmaster Soldier, and then you can use the Madima Dragon as a material for the Dragon Master Magia, which is not half bad. I forgot how we got the polymerization here, but there's one way. I forgot how you got the polymerization here, but I will share the video down below in the comment section. There is one way that you can get the polymerization here. There we go. So you can get this from the copy of Black Light, or Black Sheep, I mean. So add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand, which is not half bad, but downside for this deck is bricks. There will be a tendency that you'll brick from these cards alone, so it's going to be hard for you. So polymerization, the Blackmaster Soldier, the Sword Mikanko, Black Sheep, and a copy of Renaud. The rest are practically, and also the copy of Fire Dance. You know, it's very bricky. That's straight up what I can say with this deck. There will be a tendency that you can summon Magia to the field. Less consistent and all, but yeah, that's one way. And that's one of the decks that I managed to like research or find out in the internet. So that's Mannadium. Let's move to our final deck. Then we have here Branded on the 60 card pile. Now, honestly, this is less consistent than the other decks in general because you're using 60 cards, so it's gonna be hard to to actually like dig up some of the cards that you basically need to this combo. But the thing about branded is you usually just play off branded to its full engine. We have Keeper, Aliber, Kit, getting a copy of Branded Fusion, dump a copy of Cartesia. On the next turn, you use the Cartesia after you bounce it back from your graveyard to your hand. And then you can just either go for a copy of Grand Ganu, sending your materials to the graveyard, so on and so forth. It's basically a long process to actually do this, but if ever you got a copy of these monsters, I have played this on a first turn basis where I summon Magia, and that's basically it. On a first turn Magia, and then it was just easily removed after one monster negate. Sad to say, but it can actually do this, or it is one of the decks that can actually do this. But yeah, that's basically it. I think that's all of the decks that I managed to get from the internet when it comes to summoning the Dragon Master Magia to the field. I know there are a couple of decks out there, but these are some of the meta decks that you can actually use with Magia. Honestly, I think DK is one of the most consistent one of all, having to summon the Magia to the field with less hassle. But yeah, that's basically it for today, guys. Keep safe, good luck. We'll be putting up new contents in the channel, hopefully. If I won't get busy and, you know. Anywho, that's it for today. Keep safe, good luck. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Goodbye.